Welcome back to the Exposure History channel. Be sure to subscribe and like, so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. Residents of Prague hurl Molotov cocktails at a Soviet tank. The date is August 21st, 1968. Soviet troops roll into the city to crush reform. The invasion was led by Warsaw Pact forces. They aim to end the Prague Spring movement for freedom. People fight back with whatever weapons they can find. Flames burst as bottles shatter against the tank's armor. Streets echo with the sound of resistance and defiance. Civilians face soldiers without hesitation or fear. The air fills with smoke and burning fuel. This moment becomes a symbol of Prague's refusal to surrender. The suffering of Armenians spanned from 1909 to 1923. During these years, persecution was constant and widespread. Hundreds of thousands were targeted for their identity and faith. Families were torn apart by violence and forced deportations. Many were driven into barren deserts without food or water. Survivors endured hunger, disease, and relentless hardship. Communities that had thrived for centuries were destroyed. Homes and businesses were seized or burned to the ground. Children were orphaned, and entire villages vanished from maps. The campaign aimed to erase the Armenian presence from the region. Few escaped the brutality of those years. A dark chapter etched into the memory of a people. An American soldier looks away during a tense moment. Former Dachau prisoners stand ready to confront an SS guard. One prisoner grips a shovel tightly in his hands. The guard was feared for brutal abuse and intimidation. He targeted men, women, and children without hesitation. The prisoners had endured his cruelty for far too long. Now, the balance of power had shifted completely. The soldier does nothing to stop what's coming next. Every face shows years of pain and anger. A bomb blasted Spanish Prime Minister Luis Carrero Blanco's car into the air. It happened on December 20th, 1973, in Madrid, Spain. The separatist group ETA planted explosives beneath the street. The explosion launched the car over a nearby building. Witnesses saw it fly almost 20 meters high. Carrero Blanco was killed instantly in the attack. The operation was carefully planned for months in secret. ETA members dug a tunnel to hide the explosives. The blast shocked Spain and stunned the world. Afterward, people called him Spain's astronaut. Two Armenian militias stand locked in a tense confrontation. The year is 1915, during the Armenian Genocide. The Ottoman Empire is carrying out mass persecution of Armenians. Thousands are being driven from their homes or killed outright. Fear and violence spread across towns and villages. The genocide becomes one of the century's worst tragedies. Men, women, and children face relentless attacks and displacement. Survivors are left with little but their will to endure. These militias fight desperately to defend their people and land. Every moment carries the weight of life or death. History remembers the scale of this systematic destruction. A Mujahideen fighter takes aim with a Stinger missile. The target is a Soviet aircraft flying overhead. It's 1988 in Nangarhar province, Afghanistan. The Soviet-Afghan War is nearing its final stages. U.S.-supplied Stinger missiles change the battlefield dramatically. These weapons can bring down low-flying helicopters and jets. The fighter locks onto the aircraft with steady focus. Dust swirls around as he prepares to fire. This scene captures the raw intensity of guerrilla warfare. A mold-covered cap rests on the floor of the Fuhrer bunker. The year is 1945, and Germany is in ruins. Nearby, stagnant water reflects the emptiness of the room. The space feels abandoned, stripped of power and control. This simple object once belonged to a man of authority. Now it lies forgotten, coated in decay and dust. The bunker stands as a silent witness to history's turn. Outside, the war's end reshapes nations and political maps. Inside, the air is thick with the sense of defeat. The cap marks the collapse of a brutal regime. A German soldier dives sideways to avoid a grenade blast. It's the Western Front of World War I, around 1917. The battlefield is a mix of mud, smoke, and chaos. Grenades explode with deadly force, scattering dirt and shrapnel. Every movement is a split-second fight for survival. The soldier's body twists as he hits the ground hard. Nearby, others brace for the shockwave to follow. Trenches offer little protection from sudden, close-range attacks. People struggle to board a plane in Nang, April 1, 1975. It's the United States' evacuation from South Vietnam. The Vietnam War is in its final chaotic weeks. The fall of Saigon is only days away. South Vietnam's regime is collapsing under the North Vietnamese advance. Desperation fills the air as people push toward the aircraft. Families cling to each other, afraid of being left behind. Every seat means a chance at safety and survival. This scene marks the end of an era in Vietnam. Martin Luther King Jr. stands on the Lorraine Motel balcony. It's Memphis, Tennessee, April 3, 1968. He delivers one of his final powerful speeches. The civil rights leader is still pushing for justice and equality. His voice carries the weight of years of struggle. Supporters gather below, listening closely to every word. The balcony overlooks a quiet street in the city. Less than 24 hours later, tragedy will strike here. This spot will become a site of mourning and memory, a powerful image from the final chapter of his life. An aerial view shows JFK's funeral at the Capitol in 1963. It's November, days after the assassination shocked the nation. The ceremony draws leaders from around the world. Thousands of U.S. citizens gather to pay their respects. Black-clad mourners stand in solemn silence. The flag-draped coffin rests at the center of attention. Military guards maintain a steady, respectful watch. The Capitol grounds are filled with grief and unity. Cameras capture every moment for history. This is a defining image of national mourning. A worker is helped out of a BL-15 gun barrel. He's just finished cleaning the rifling inside. It's Coventry Ordnance Works, England, in 1914. The job is part of World War I preparations. Cleaning ensures the massive gun fires accurately in battle. The barrel stretches several meters in length. Inside, space is cramped, dark, and coated in residue. Workers crawl through with tools and heavy clothes. Each pass removes dirt, rust, and gunpowder buildup. The task is slow, dangerous, and physically exhausting. A young North Vietnamese man lights a cigarette for an elder. Both men are amputees, each missing a leg. They stand together in a quiet cemetery in Hanoi. The year is 1970, 5 years after a deadly attack. A plaque nearby honors 45 students killed on March 16, 1965. The graves are marked with simple stones and fresh flowers. The men share a silent bond of loss and survival. Their injuries speak to the war's lasting impact. The gesture is small, but filled with humanity. Camberly Kate walks through England surrounded by her stray dogs. It's 1962, and she's already a local legend. She takes in every stray she meets. Over her lifetime, she has cared for more than 600 dogs. Each animal gets food, shelter, and affection from her. People in town know her by sight and story. The streets are her rescue center and home. Dogs follow her in a loyal, noisy parade. She never turns away an animal in need. Her life becomes a testament to compassion and dedication. John F. Kennedy Jr. stands at his father's funeral in 1963. It's Washington, D.C., days after the president's assassination. He is only 3 years old. The child raises his hand in a small salute. Crowds watch in silence, moved by the moment. Military guards stand beside the flag-draped coffin. The gesture became one of America's most iconic images. It captures grief, innocence, and national heartbreak in one frame. This salute becomes a lasting symbol of loss. A child's goodbye that the world would never forget. Dazzle camouflage covers a warship in bold, clashing patterns. It's 1917 during World War I. The design uses bright colors and sharp geometric shapes. The goal is to confuse enemy rangefinders and gunners. Lines and angles distort the ship's size and direction. From a distance, it's hard to judge speed or heading. The effect creates a moving visual illusion at sea. Each ship gets a unique, chaotic paint scheme. The patterns are more art than traditional military camouflage. Artists and designers helped develop these striking disguises. A Swedish policewoman patrols through deep winter snow in the 1970s. Cold wind cuts across the empty streets. Her uniform is layered, but the chill still bites. Snow crunches under each steady step. She stays alert despite the freezing conditions. Patrolling is part of her daily duty, no matter the weather. The scene reflects her dedication to law enforcement. Women in policing face both physical and social challenges. Colonel Thomas Edward Lawrence rides a camel across the desert in 1916. Better known as Lawrence of Arabia, he's already a legendary figure. It's World War I, and the Arab Revolt is underway. Lawrence plays a key role in leading guerrilla operations. His tactics disrupt Ottoman supply lines and communication routes. The desert heat and vast terrain test every fighter's endurance. Lawrence earns the trust of Arab leaders and tribes. His mix of diplomacy and strategy changes the conflict's course. Flight Officer Christopher F.C. Lee stands in Vatican City, 1944. It's shortly after the liberation of Rome in World War II. Lee served in the British Armed Forces at the time. His military work takes him across Europe during the conflict. Just 3 years later, he began his film career. The young officer will become a world-famous actor. Known for commanding roles, his career spans decades and genres. In this moment, he's far from Hollywood's spotlight. The war still shapes his life and experiences. His posture reflects discipline and quiet confidence. Women protest against forced hijab laws in Iran, 1979. It's only days after the revolution reshaped the nation. The Shah's regime has just fallen from power. New rules threaten women's freedom of clothing choice. Crowds gather, holding signs and chanting in the streets. The movement pushes for civil rights and personal freedom. Protesters face a tense and uncertain political climate. Many fear the loss of hard-won social liberties. The air is charged with determination and defiance. A mechanic checks the Hindenburg's engine during flight in 1936. The airship era is at its absolute peak. The Hindenburg is the pride of German engineering. It's one of the largest airships ever built. Smooth metal frames and massive gas cells fill its body. Passengers enjoy luxury travel high above the clouds. The crew works constantly to keep systems running. This inspection happens mid-flight, with the engine roaring nearby. The Hindenburg symbolizes the cutting-edge technology of its time. It's a blend of engineering ambition and elegant design. In the 1930s, baby baskets hung outside apartment windows. They were designed to give infants fresh air and sunlight. City living often meant no access to outdoor space. Parents suspended the basket several stories above the street. Metal frames and wire mesh kept the baby secure. Blankets and pillows made the small space comfortable. Mothers watched from inside while children napped in the open. The practice was common in crowded urban neighborhoods. It reflected the era's focus on fresh air for health. In 1936, a Dutch athlete received an unusual sports award. It was not a medal or a trophy, but a portrait. The portrait was of a prominent political leader of that era. This prize was awarded during the Berlin Olympic Games. The Games were carefully staged by the Nazi regime in Germany. They aimed to display power and influence through grand events. Athletes competed, but politics was always in the background. The leadership used the Olympics to spread their ideology worldwide. In August 1910, the steamship Princess May ran aground in Alaska. It struck the rocks of the rugged and narrow Lynn Canal. The vessel tilted dramatically, creating a striking and unforgettable sight. Despite the danger, the crew responded quickly and with great skill. Passengers were calmed and assured that rescue was on the way. Lifeboats were lowered carefully into the cold and choppy waters. Every person on board was evacuated without injury or panic. The crew also managed to save the valuable cargo from loss. In 1989, after the Berlin Wall fell, East Germans poured into West Berlin. Traffic jammed near the Brandenburg Gate as people crossed freely for the first time in decades. It was a moment of joy, freedom, and historic change. In 1936, Jesse Owens competed at the Berlin Olympic Games. He won gold in the 100 meters, 200 meters, and relay. He also claimed victory in the long jump event. Owens' achievements defied Nazi Germany's racist beliefs. His success proved that talent rises above prejudice. In the 1920s, a massive steam-powered hydraulic forging press operated in Essen. It had an incredible capacity of 15,000 tons for industrial forging. The press was located at the Friedrich Cup AG workshops in Germany. This engineering marvel was used for shaping and forming heavy metal components. Such machinery played a vital role in Germany's expanding industrial sector. Workers operated the press with precision, ensuring safety and efficiency in production. The sheer size and power of the press made it impressive to witness. In 1936, Cesare Orsenigo met Adolf Hitler in Germany. Orsenigo was the Apostolic Nuncio, the Vatican's official diplomat to Germany. He had also served during President Hindenburg's time in office. Throughout Hitler's rule, Orsenigo maintained a cordial relationship with him. He often sent greetings on Christmas, New Year's, and Hitler's birthday. These gestures reflected the Vatican's cautious diplomacy during turbulent times. Orsenigo believed maintaining dialogue was better than complete diplomatic silence. Many criticized his approach as being too friendly toward the regime. An Egyptian street vendor sells mummies in Cairo, 1865. Back then, Egypt was a hotspot for curious tourists. Travelers craved ancient artifacts, drawn by tales of the pharaohs. Mummies, shockingly, were often sold in open markets. Most of these sales were illegal, yet widely ignored. Collectors and adventurers paid big money for these relics. Some bought them for study, others for strange entertainment. Victorian parties sometimes featured the unwrapping of mummies. This trade stripped Egypt of countless priceless historical treasures. Elvis Presley speaks at a press conference in 1958. He's preparing to leave for 18 months in West Germany. The king of rock and roll is now a U.S. soldier. His enlistment draws massive attention from fans and the media. Service in the United States Army won't slow his fame. Reporters crowd the room, hanging on his every word. Elvis stays calm, polite, and sharply dressed in uniform. His departure marks a rare pause in his music career. This moment captures Elvis balancing duty and stardom. In 1945, Marshal Joseph Brazito stood tall, watching his troops march into Belgrade. The city had endured years of harsh Axis occupation, its streets scarred by war. Now, the Yugoslav partisans had fought their way to victory, pushing the invaders out. Cheers echoed as flags waved, the people tasting freedom for the first time in years. This was more than a military triumph. It was the rebirth of a nation's spirit. Every step the soldiers took through the city was a step away from fear and oppression. Belgrade was alive again, its heart beating with hope, pride, and the promise of peace. Chiang Wei-kuo, son of China's leader Chiang Kai-shek, in German uniform, 1939. He served with the Wehrmacht while studying military tactics in Germany. World War II was brewing and alliances were shifting fast. Wei-kuo was part of a Chinese mission sent to observe and learn. It's surreal, China's future general marching under Nazi flags. History loves these strange tangled threads. In 1936, a German airship floated near the Empire State Building. Back then, these giant dirigibles were the pride of the skies. They weren't just transport, they were luxury hotels drifting above the world. Smooth rides, plush cabins, and jaw-dropping views came standard. Passengers could sip champagne while clouds rolled beneath them. Airships promised a glamorous future of travel without turbulence or rush. For a moment, they felt like the future had arrived. In 1905, Norway received its first shipment of fresh bananas. This delivery marked a notable milestone in the nation's trading history. Bananas, previously unseen by many Norwegians, fascinated and delighted the public. The event reflected the country's expanding connections to distant tropical regions. It symbolized the rapid growth of international trade during the early 20th century. Globalization was beginning to influence even the far north of Europe. Norway's markets now offer more variety than ever before in history. Ever seen a flying giant being born? A Zeppelin under construction in 1935, when airships symbolized progress. These colossal crafts promised safe and efficient journeys across continents. Their massive frames were assembled with precision and human craftsmanship. Metal ribs curved into shape, forming the vessel's skeletal structure. Gas cells were carefully fitted to provide buoyancy and stability. Every detail reflected the ambition of conquering the skies. Engineers and workers labored tirelessly, driven by dreams of flight. The first aerial refueling happened on June 27, 1923, in San Diego. Lyle H. Smith and John P. Artois performed this groundbreaking feat. This event was a major leap forward for aviation technology. Refueling planes mid-air extended flight range and mission possibilities. Pilots connected two aircraft while flying close at high speed. The technique improved military and commercial aviation capabilities forever. It paved the way for longer, more efficient air travel. This historic moment showed innovation pushing the limits of flight. Albert Einstein's office on the day he died, 1955. The room shows where he spent countless hours thinking deeply. Papers, books, and notes clutter the desk and surrounding shelves. This space reflects a mind constantly at work and in discovery. The photo captures quiet stillness after a lifetime of brilliance. Einstein's theories changed how we understand space and time. His office remains a symbol of curiosity and genius. Every item hints at ideas that shaped modern physics. The Statue of Liberty's construction began in 1884 in France. It was a remarkable gift from France to the United States. This gesture celebrated the strong friendship between both nations. The statue also stood as a powerful emblem of freedom. Its towering figure represented hope for millions of immigrants arriving. Skilled craftsmen and engineers worked tirelessly on its copper structure. The design was created by sculptor Frederick Auguste Bartholdi. Gustave Eiffel engineered the statue's supportive iron framework. Atari's National Space Invaders Championship took place in 1980. It was one of the first major video game competitions ever held. Players from across the country competed in the popular arcade game. Space Invaders was a groundbreaking hit that defined early gaming culture. The event attracted large crowds and sparked widespread excitement for gaming. Competitors showcased skill, speed, and strategy to claim the top spot. This championship marked a key moment in video game history and culture. It helped establish gaming as a competitive and social activity. Nan Wood Graham and Dr. Byron McKibbe stand in a quiet gallery. It's September 1942 at the Cedar Rapids Public Library. This photo captures a peaceful, reflective moment between the two. The library is a vital cultural hub for the local community. Nan Wood Graham is known for her connection to famous art. Dr. McKibbe represents the city's academic and cultural leadership. Together, they embody the library's role in knowledge and culture. Elevated trains ran above the busy streets of Manhattan's Bowery in 1895. The elevated system was a new solution for crowded city transport. It helped move large numbers of people quickly through tight urban spaces. Trains clattered overhead while pedestrians bustled below in the busy neighborhood. This innovation eased street-level congestion and transformed how New Yorkers traveled. Steel tracks and towering supports created a striking industrial cityscape. The elevated trains were noisy but vital for the city's growth. In 1956, a sign warned white residents in Johannesburg during apartheid. The apartheid regime enforced strict racial segregation from 1948 to 1994. Laws controlled where people could live, work, and even walk. Non-white populations faced harsh restrictions and discrimination every day. Signs like this reinforced divisions and enforced the regime's policies. Apartheid deeply shaped South Africa's society and caused widespread suffering. This sign is a stark reminder of that oppressive era. In the early 1900s, Edwardian women were forced to pose for prison photos. They were arrested for crimes like theft and shoplifting. Many women, especially from lower classes, faced harsh punishments. Minor thefts often led to imprisonment and public humiliation. These prison photos documented their offenses and served as warnings. Women had limited opportunities and were often driven to crime by poverty. The justice system treated them harshly with little consideration for circumstances. These images reveal the social struggles women endured during that era. In 1974, filmmaker M.C. Jagger met with Rolling Stones leader Mick Jagger. The meeting took place at a high-profile event in Germany. M.C. Jagger was known for her controversial and provocative work. Their encounter attracted significant media and public attention. Both were influential figures in music and film during the era. The event highlighted the merging worlds of art and rock culture. This moment captured a unique cultural crossover of the 1970s. Universal Orlando Resort opened its doors in 1990. The park introduced a new era of theme parks in the U.S. It brought immersive rides and attractions inspired by Universal films. Visitors experienced movies in exciting, interactive ways like never before. The opening changed how people enjoyed entertainment and amusement parks. Universal combined storytelling with cutting-edge technology to wow guests. Families and fans flocked to experience their favorite films brought to life. The park set new standards for creativity and immersive fun. Life on the streets of Victorian London, 1873 to 1877, captured in rare photos. The city was booming, fueled by industrialization and rapid urban growth. Crowded streets teemed with workers, families, and children struggling to survive. Horse-drawn carriages mixed with pedestrians in a noisy, bustling environment. Smoke and smog filled the air from factories and coal fires. Poor sanitation and cramped housing made life harsh for many residents. Markets, street vendors, and public gatherings added color to city life. These photos reveal both the grit and energy of Victorian London. In 1948, a girl who survived a concentration camp drew a picture of home. She lived in a residence for children in distress in Poland. Her drawing expressed a deep longing for belonging and normal life. After the horrors of war, she searched for comfort through art. The image reveals her hope for peace amid trauma and loss. Children like her struggled to rebuild their lives after devastation. Art became a way to express feelings words couldn't capture. In 1954, she toured Japan to entertain soldiers stationed far from home. Her performances became a symbol of support and comfort for troops. She brought moments of joy and distraction during challenging, tense times. Her presence lifted spirits and reminded soldiers of better days ahead. Through music and dance, she connected with those facing hardship daily. Her tour strengthened morale and offered a brief escape from conflict. This role made her a beloved figure among military communities abroad. She showed how art and kindness can heal even in dark times. During World War II, elephants helped transport heavy materials in tough terrain. Vehicles couldn't reach many remote or rugged areas easily back then. Elephants carried supplies, weapons, and equipment through forests and mountains. Their strength and sure-footedness made them invaluable in challenging conditions. Soldiers relied on elephants to move goods where machines failed. This use of animals was a practical solution in wartime logistics. Elephants played a quiet but important role behind the battle lines. A group of smiling humanoid mice gathered around 1930. They posed for one of the first Mickey Mouse Club meetings. This took place in Ocean Park, California, a popular coastal spot. The members wore matching costumes, showing early fan club spirit. The club celebrated Disney's rising star, Mickey Mouse, beloved by many. It was a fun, playful way to connect fans of the character. This meeting helped build the foundation for Mickey's growing cultural impact. Fans shared excitement and joy through costumes, songs, and stories. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on anything.